GSL fans, I'm Jasmine, Multimedia TPM from ASUS headquarters Taiwan. 안녕하세요. ASUS was established in 1989. This is our 25th anniversary, and we are the #1 Taiwanese brand with equity of $1.5 billion. Around the world, we have 1,800 employees. It's very exciting to know that 30% are R&D resource and is dedicated for our gaming sections. You also know that ASUS is the #1 provider for motherboard and VGAs. We can't do this without your help, and of course, can't do this without your love. So let's have another great, successful year, and of course, fighting. Thank you. Bye.
What's up, guys? Tastes and Artosis here at GOMTV for the GSL Codes. It's day number 2 now of the round of 16. So far, this tournament has kicked a lot of ass.
Best yet. Best yet.
Yes. Actually, it is the best yet. It really is. We've had some incredible games, really balanced distribution so far throughout the tournament. The day 1 of the round of 16 was fantastic. I think today here is going to be even better.
Yeah, it really was awesome to see Cure just being such a badass. Of course, this group is absolute insanity as well. All of these groups are just out of control strong. So
yeah.
Whatever happens today, it's going to be amazing. It's like not even worth it to predict because any of these 4 players could get out.
Yeah, who do you think? Okay, I know you said it's not worth it to predict, but if you had to, who would you pick here?
God, I don't even know. It's like so crazy. Like Maru versus Parting, and then Innovation versus Stats. I think it's so hard to predict any of that.
I would say Maru, and then maybe Parting. Maybe it's a tough one though. Maru's been doing very well in all of our Codesses.
I don't think Parting's going to make it.
What about Maru? Because he's done pretty well.
I think Maru's going to make it out. I do.
In a lot of the Codesses we've had here, he's been doing very well. He's been pretty consistent, even when Terran wasn't doing well. So I feel like with the tweaks we've got here with Terran now, he should be doing even better than before.
You would think. But, I mean, this is just – it's so crazy, man, this group. It's so hard to predict. I can't wait, actually, to just get it started. But, of course, you know, we have to do interviews and watch awesome videos and get some hype.
Notice there was only 1 GSL Codes last week. We're doing 3 this week. So tonight, tomorrow night, and then the night after that.
That's right.
So you've got a lot of StarCraft II ahead of you.
You certainly do. There's just like this time of year, man. There's so much StarCraft going on. Of course, IEM Toronto last weekend, the Hong Kong esports event
Flash doing so well there.
The Codes. This week, all Codes. Next week, we have DreamHack Moscow and the Kespa Cup. It's just insanity.
It really is. Here is what the schedule looks like. So far, just for results' sake, Cure, Zest moving on. Cure are really the dark horse here this tournament. Today, Maru, Parting, Innovation, Stats. Tomorrow, Rain, Effort, Solar, and SOS. And on our final day, Friday, Sue, DRG, True, and Flash.
Yeah, and it says Acer Innovation there, but he did, in fact, leave Acer. So he is actually teamless at the moment. I'm sure a lot of teams are looking to pick him up. Kespa and Foreign, no doubt.
I'm really wondering here with... Well, I'm counting Stats out for a group, but I might be wrong.
Really? I think that Stats has a better chance of getting out of here than Parting.
Really?
Which is so crazy to say, I know. It's just wild to say.
Here is what the round of 8 looks like so far. We know that on one side of the bracket, here we're going to have Cure. Will that be the top side of the bracket? And at the bottom side of the bracket is Zest.
Yeah.
Both of those players very talented, could very well be the champions of this tournament.
Cure looked like one of the best Terrans I've ever seen during that first day.
If you guys missed those games, he was #1 on the ladder on the Korean server, which obviously lends itself to having a player that's very good. It means he's basically good against whatever he's going up against. Yeah. There is a difference in ladder play versus. Well, hold that thought. We'll be right back, guys.
Quick little video.
Quick VCR here, and then I'll talk more about that.
다른 팀원들이 너무 센 거 같아.
가 저를 뽑는다고 했었어요.
은근슬쩍 말하더라고요.
뽑을 거라고.
무조건 뽑아달라고.
오!
황조가 제일 쉽거든요.
저는 이삭이 형은 안 무서운데 영호 형이 무섭거든요.
무슨 일이 있어도 안 뽑을 테니까 제발 좀 뽑아줘.
약간 흔들려.
약간 흔들려요? 아! 야.
GSL 만들어 보려고. 도발하시면은 그래도 한번 생각해 볼 마음은 있어요.
네가 SK에서 가장 못해. 이번에 우리 우승 네가 만들어준
정신 차렸어요 지금.
조금의 쇼를 만들고 싶은 마음이 신영이한테 계속 얘기했는데 뽑지 말라고. 이재혁 선수가 좀 더 편하긴 한 것 같아요.
신영이의 선택을 믿을게요.
Maru, Party, Stats, Innovation, GSL, Season 3.
없어서 참 많은 분들이
That was fantastic.
느끼셨을 것 같은데요.
We're going to the interview now
오늘 그
with our
일주일을
four
기다린
players to see what their thoughts are going into
연경기들이
this
많이
group
탄생할
here,
것
Group B.
같습니다. 오늘 그만큼 쟁쟁한 선수들이 많이
So she says for a week we didn't have a
나오셨는데요.
GSL.
선수분들 한 분 한 분
So
만나보도록
everybody's been really eager to see these matches here
먼저
tonight.
가장
Now
먼저
let's meet our first
지명권을
player.
행사한 조성주 선수.
Maru.
자, 오늘은 안 아프세요?
네,
He says, are you not feeling sick today? He was sick previously.
좋은 건 아닌데.
Says, yes, I'm feeling better.
저번보다는 괜찮은 것 같아요.
She says, are you feeling good? And he says, I'm feeling better than before, yeah.
조성주 선수가 왜 원희석 선수를 선택했는지 궁금해하고 있거든요. 사실 테란전에 굉장히 강하고
A lot of fans have wondered why he picked Party. You know, he pulled out some great matches against Terran earlier. What are your
저거를
thoughts?
뽑으려 했는데
네.
처음부터 끝까지 저한테 뽑아달라고 그래서 그냥 뽑았어요.
Actually, I wanted to pick Zerg players, but Party begged me. He was begging me since he arrived at the studio that day.
근데 먼저
She says, is that the only
뽑혀가지고
reason?
제가 뽑으려 하시는 분.
제가 보기엔 아닌 것 같은데 제가 증거 사진을 수집을 해놨거든요. 정말 그거밖에 없나요?
기억이 안 나요.
네?
제가 무슨 말을 했던지 기억이 안 나요.
자, 원희탁 선수.
He's actually saying he doesn't quite remember his thoughts or what he said that day during the trash talk interview.
무슨 사진 말씀하시는 거지?
So we have, she's saying Maru has some evidence against you. What kind of deal did you and Maru have going into this?
이유가
뭐야 이거?
자, 빨리 해명해 주시죠. 두 분이
And she's
무슨
asking about the
사이세요?
deal that him and Maru had, and I guess that's on screen. Okay, here's the photo.
설명해 주세요, 원희석 선수.
그냥
She says,
저
explain
사진은
this.
약간 뭔가 좀 그럴듯한
He
사진으로
says
나왔는데
situation
평소에 그냥
was
친한 형 동생 사이고
네.
제가 성주를 많이 귀여워해서 저런 장면이 나온 것 같아요. 근데 저
we're
사진은
actually
약간
brothers.
좀
네.
Kramer Hyung for
아,
this.
너무 진해요,
According to
스킨십이.
Hyung,
이게 저 때는
he's like a
약간
little brother to me,
성주가 저를
and he
너무 많이
likes me a
좋아했던 것
lot
같아요.
too.
네, 아니 조성주 선수 계속해서 일관스럽게 도발해서
I think he likes me more than I like him.
어떻게 된 건가요? 왜 안겨 있는 거죠?
So Maru, you said Party provoked you, and that's why you picked him.
네,
you
어쨌든
explain this
이렇게 두
photo?
분이 참 의외로 이렇게 좋은 모습으로
No
시도
comment.
경기를 시작할 것 같아서 기분이 좋은데요. 자, 이번에 그렇다면 승자전에서 어떤 선수가 올라올 것 같아요?
So
승자
who do you
예상을
expect
한다면.
to? Which player do you expect to move on to the winners match?
탈락이요?
아니요. 오늘 만약에 1경기를 치르고 이 승자전으로 만날 것 같은 상대.
저는 패자전 갈 거예요.
Round says, you mean like round of 8? She said no,
이렇게
for the winners match
피해가시는군요.
here.
그렇다면 제가 그냥 원희탁 선수에게 바로 질문을 해보겠습니다. 자,
He said
시조선이
he doesn't really care because he's probably
직접
going to go into
하셨는데
losers
마음에 드세요?
matches anyways.
그 당시에는
So Party, how do you feel about your
완전
group?
미친 사람 마냥 패기 있게 이 조를 골랐는데
네.
갑자기 날이 갈수록 후회가 되더라고요.
그래요?
제가-
원하는 테란을 얻으셨잖아요.
Day by day, I've been regretting
너무 세져가지고
being in this group.
오늘 약간
even though I
심판의
picked some of the
날이라고
players in here.
생각하고
You know, since Terran's been
아무래도
buffed,
좀 약간
it looks much
승영
stronger.
형이랑
네.
I'm
성주한테
actually
좀 두들겨
really worried
맞을 것
about
같아요.
having
그래요?
getting out of this group and going on
김기혁
the round of
선수는
8
안
today.
무섭나요?
아마
Stats,
대엽이 형이
how are
안
you
만날
feeling?
것 같아요.
만날 일이
아,
없어요.
만날
Party says I
것
probably would end
같아요.
up beating Stats.
오늘 다들 왜 이렇게 몸을 사리시나요?
Well, maybe I'm going to beat Stats.
자, 그럼 김대혁
in the
선수
losers
이야기 들어보도록
matches.
하겠습니다. 자, 마음에는 안 들지만
Stats,
어쨌든
your
이렇게
thoughts.
된 거 이제 직접 자신을 믿고 싸우는 수밖에 없습니다. 자, 오늘 어떤 각오로 오셨어요?
So you didn't really want to be in this
저도-
group. Any words you want to say?
이상이랑 마찬가지로 좀 자신감을 많이 잃은
Same
상태로
as Party.
그냥 오늘 그냥 정신 좀
I'm not
났어요.
feeling
그냥
that
편하게
confidence
하고
here.
가려고요.
Or not feeling that
아니,
confident
오늘
here.
다들
Excuse me.
정신줄이 놓고
Mentally, I'm
무기력해지고
just,
CS에
not
이러면
in a
안
good
됩니다. 자,
I'm
이신영
just
선수
going to play the
어떠세요?
best I
오늘
can
기분
with
어떠세요?
nothing to lose. Innovation, how are you feeling?
저도
Are you
연습도
confident?
너무 많이 져가지고 그냥
Well, when I
마음
practice for
편하게
GSL,
경기하고
I actually lost a lot of matches.
그런데 이신영 선수
So I'm not feeling that
소식을
confident
듣고
either.
싶은 게 있는데요. 오늘은 이렇게 무소속으로 출전을 하셨습니다. 그거에
I
대해서
heard that you're
조금만
teamless
얘기 들을 수
today.
있을까요? 팬분들이 궁금해하실 것 같아서.
What's going on with that?
팀과는 계약 기간이 이제 끝나가지고 제가
네.
Yeah, my contract expired.
방향으로 가고 싶어서 팀과 재계약을 안 한 상태예요.
아, 그렇군요. 자, 오늘 경기에서 이신영 선수
And I just didn't
정말
renew
어떤
it.
모습 보여줄지 기대가 됩니다. 그런데 말씀대로 이렇게 조성주 선수와 상대 전적이라던가 아니면 프로토스전에 대해서 좀 보완이 필요하다.
Yet versus
해석을
Maru.
구해야겠다 이렇게 말씀을 하셨었거든요. 프로토스전 어떻게
So far, you
대비하시나요?
haven't pulled out the best performance against him, and you've been seeming weak against Protoss.
보고 좀 많이
How have you covered
따라하는
for your
식으로
matches here today?
준비했고요.
네.
그냥 근데 오늘은 딱히 막 이렇게 못 이기겠다 정도는 아니어가지고 그냥
I don't really have a feeling that I can't
좀 따라주면 이길 수 있을 것 같아요.
win against Protoss now.
사실
But if I can pull
프로리그를
out
하지 않으셨기 때문에
good mechanics
김대엽
here, I
선수
think I can just
준비하시는 게
win no matter what.
힘드셨을 것 같은데 어떠셨어요?
그냥 똑같은 토스라고 생각하고 그냥
네.
준비했어요.
You know, I really don't think that much about my
김대엽
opponents. I
선수
just think about them as their
질문을
respective
드릴게요.
race.
사실 가장 자신 있는
for instance,
거는
Protoss
원래
or Terran.
저그전이고 프로토스전은 사실 경험이 거의 없어요.
네.
테란전이나 프로토스전 자신 있으세요?
Are you confident to have Protoss and Terran matches?
테란전은 원래부터 자신이 없었어요. 테란전은
네.
원래부터 자신이 없어가지고
Well, originally,
그나마 저는 오늘
I didn't feel that
이상이만
confident
바라보고
with matches against Terran.
이삭 선수를 반드시 만나고 싶으신 거예요?
못하는 이상이 자꾸
All I
올라가요.
can think about is my matches against the Protoss player in
이삭 선수
this
어떠세요?
group.
만나고 싶으세요?
And I think I need to stop him from moving on to the next
없을 것
round. And
같다고
Parting's response
만날
is,
일 없다고 생각했는데 만나야 될 것 같아요.
네. 자, 오늘 선수분들이
I think I got to
좀
meet stats now in this
의외의
group.
컨셉을 가지고 오신 것 같은데 마지막으로 오늘 경기에 나서기 전에 각오 한마디씩을 들어보도록
So before we
하겠습니다.
start the
가장
matches,
먼저 이 조성주 선수
Let's hear the
들어볼까요?
final words from each of our players.
제가 결승 한번 가고 지금 최근에 다 떨어졌는데 이번엔 꼭 우승하도록 하겠습니다.
네. 자, 우승을 이렇게 얘기해 주셨는데
I'm moving to the final once. I want to try to make it. Excuse me. I'm going to do my very best to get to the finals.
중요한 경기라고 생각해서 열심히 준비했으니까
I think tonight's matches are really important,
하겠습니다.
and I
네.
practice a lot.
자,
You guys are going to see some great performance. Please
한
root
말씀
for me.
해주시죠.
일단 오늘 일로 인해서 두 번 다시
Firstly,
패기 부리지 않고 착하게 살아나갈 테니까
I will never provoke other
하늘의
players.
여신이 승리의
Again.
여신이 오늘 저한테 좀 웃어줬으면 좋겠고
I really regret that I picked this group.
선주는 반드시 박살내겠습니다.
Hopefully, I've got luck on my side tonight.
네. 자, 마지막으로 김대엽 선수 각오 들어볼게요.
오늘 그래도 네, 준비는 많이 했으니까
Well,
패기
tonight I
있는
prepared a
플레이로
lot.
멋지게 8강 올라가는 모습 보여드리겠습니다.
I'm just going to
네,
try my
자,
best
오늘
to play
이렇게
out
네
the way
분의 쟁쟁한
I
선수들이
envision these
도전을
games.
합니다. 과연 어떤
would be winning
선수가
here.
올라갈지
Please cheer for me.
짐작하기도
And that's going to do it for the
이
interview.
선수들의 경기 기대해 주시고요.
Not
자, 그리고
really a lot of
예고해드린
confident
대로
guys there,
오늘
Artosis.
HCS입니다.
Yeah, that's fake.
HCS에서
These guys are the best in the world, and they all know it.
이벤트를 준비하고 있으니까요.
So,
이 역시 기대해 주시기
Don't forget,
바랍니다.
guys,
자, 그럼
Aces
16강
Day
출전
is
경기
today and on
본격적으로
Friday.
시작하겠습니다.
So if you're down in the studio, you can win some awesome Aces stuff. Make sure you come down and participate in this. Out in the lobby, you can talk to them and get involved.
Yeah.
And don't forget, of course, the footprint race, which is very important for you to enter.
Come down
Take
to
a
our
little
studio
picture of yourself with the
anytime.
Polaroid we have out there.
And yeah, we've already predicted. I actually predicted True to win this entire.
And I predicted
tournament.
rain. Surprise, surprise.
But definitely come down here. We're also giving out GSL coins.
That's right. And you know, you can get one just for showing up to the studio. You can get two if you make a sign that's shown on camera. Normally saying something about me will get you on the sign. It has to be positive, or I veto your coins. All right, so we see who they've beaten to get here.
And it looks like we're actually about to start the first best of 3 here. Here's our 4 players. Maru, Parting, Innovation, and Stats.
By the way, I gotta say, I feel like I should retire being a commentator and become a DJ. I want to become DJ Artosis, and I want to have what Innovation said at the end. I practice hard and I want to show good games for my fans. I want to have that as one of the things where it's like, you know, the beats are going like,
you mean it drops, and
then I just like turn that on,
hard and we'll bring good games
and it just says it like 1,000 times in a row.
Yeah.
And then like everyone's like, oh sick, it's the pro gamer track from Korea. And then like I switch it over, and then like it's Party making fun of someone, and then my little Idra voice comes on and goes, he's bad, he's bad, he's bad. I would be the sickest DJ. I feel like I need to actually do this.
DJ Tosis.
DJ Tosis.
DJ Tosiesto.
Already live in Las Vegas.
Yep. My DJ name just be DJ Tasteless. DJ Fabutaste.
DJ Fabutaste, for sure. All right, so yeah, I think I need to become a DJ. I think I just have too many great ideas for songs now.
I think you do.
I've heard that line so many times at this point. My brain is almost exploding in my skull.
That is the cookie cutter pro gamer response. Is the I will show great games to my fans.
The thing is, if Innovation was in a coma and you lean over, he's like, "What's he saying?" and he said that, oh, he's still in the coma. He's not coming out. That's just like that's been said so many times, you know. All right, so anyways, our first match, Parting going up against Maru. I loved the trash talk. It's so hard to predict who's going to win here. Here's my take on why I feel like I don't know if Parting's going to get out of here. He's definitely one of the best Protoss in the world. You know, he relies a lot on his control and his execution, which Maru is just as good at as he is, so that makes it a little bit harder. And I think in the last month, Parting has been ahead of the metagame. But I think everyone else has caught up at this point in the Protoss versus Terran matchup.
Yeah.
You know, he was the first one to switch back into blink openers to try to, you know, whittle down Terran a bit more and get a bit more aggressive so that SCVLMs weren't so strong. But it seems like a lot of Protosses are doing that now. I think the Terrans have a lot more practice against it currently. And I think that's going to make it a little bit harder for him because we'll see. I haven't seen him play in over a week. So, you know, maybe he's got something new worked up, but I don't know. I'm like a flow of consciousness right now, Tasis.
You're totally fine, Artie. It looks like Game Number 1's actually loaded up. It's anybody's game here, a tough group to predict here. Maru against Parting. Game Number 1 on King Sage on Station is ready to go. And in the bottom right here, in the blue, we have one of the best Terrans of all time.
GNL Green Wings, Maru.
And he's been doing really well this entire year. This is the third and final GSL Code S of the year. But Maru was doing well when there were literally no other Terrans in GSL left. In the upper left, the WCS World Champion back in Shanghai. He is
SK Telecom T1 Parting.
I'm pretty excited to see what this guy has planned for us here today.
Specifically Parting, yeah. I really want to know what builds is he going to pick. Parting has some of the very, very best execution, probably the best unit control we see here with Protoss. I mean, he's really, really solid. So, you know, if he does some kind of rush strat, there's a high chance it's going to do a lot of damage. It's going to be very successful. Then again, Maru, also some of the best control here in the world.
Certainly. He knows how to do it. He knows how to take engagements correctly, which is why I'm afraid for Parting versus Maru.
I do feel like Maru has a stronger late game
than Parting.
I would say so. Yeah.
I think you might be right because Parting like just kills people so early.
Yeah.
It's that's not something that he plays in quite as much, but you know Maru can be called a very aggressive Terran as well. So yeah, I don't know. It is definitely a tough one to predict in any way, but if there's a Terran that's supposed to beat Parting, I think it's Maru. I'm pretty sure. If you look the way styles match up against each other, I would say Maru, out of all the Terrans, would be the one that I might favor, stylistically speaking, over Parting in a matchup.
Well, I'm wondering what exactly Parting's going to do here.
Dark Swarm.
Dark Swarm!
StarCraft,
baby.
Baby. That didn't say anything about Artosis. I guess you guys can have 2 coins anyways.
Oh, he was referring to you. That's
Baby is me.
Name is Baby.
Yeah, okay.
By the way, guys, those guys have GSL coins.
2 of them.
Look at that. That's a really well-hidden probe.
What's he doing? Is he sabotaging that turbine? That's a Terran turbine for sure. That is not Protoss.
Clearly, it's not powered by any pylons or anything.
Yeah. Protoss use magic to power everything.
I don't think they use magic kurtosis.
Well, they call it psi, but I mean,
it's
what is it
basically
at its base? It's magic, right?
Yeah, magnets. You can't explain that.
You can't explain magnets.
Yeah.
They just like magically pull. It's so ridiculous.
Magic is real, guys.
Yeah.
So we have a mothership core about to pop out, and the Reaper actually being used back here defensively.
Yeah, it looks like he's really trying to prevent a scout from coming up here.
So I guess Maru is 1 and 2 versus partying in previous games. Did not realize that.
Yeah, lost last year at the end of the year. So it was about a year ago or so, give or take.
Well, I mean, when you look at it, okay, that's something, but it is long enough ago that player styles and skill levels can change.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, this is a different metagame now. Different patches.
Yeah.
were being played on the game at that point in time. The CC is about to finish up. The Nexus will finish up shortly after that. And partying so far is going to go for a robotics facility.
Yeah. You know, that's probably that's the most common thing that we see, even though parting generally does like to open up with Twilights a lot, but he might be switching that up because people really do know that.
We haven't seen an SCV going into a command center in a while.
No.
Here at GSL.
That was a good little save, though.
Yeah.
But look, this has already been kind of an interesting game. The way the Reaper stayed back to stop the probe. He knew a probe was out there trying to scout, and as soon as you see the Reaper actually show up in your base, you can just send the probe in and see what's going on. But wasn't able to get that scouting done.
Okay, now this is a predictable move here, but it does still manage to get inside. Maru now scanning around. He sees a robotics facility. Looks like he's going to bank over here to the left. And there's really nothing else this Reaper can do now, so it is shot down.
Now this is kind of interesting. Now he's throwing up these gateways at actually a really great time, but he's making a sentry instead of a third stalker. So against something like a very aggressive opener that we're going to see from Maru, this very tech-heavy Widowmine Marine type of push, he's not going to have as many stalkers as he would like to hold on.
Is he going to do some kind of a drop over here? We see the Warp Prism coming out.
It certainly looks like it.
The gateways are going to finish up. Is he going to try to like force field a ramp or something and warp and zealots in the main? I wouldn't think that would be particularly good, but I'm just wondering why he's getting that Warp Prism right away here. You know, also, the 2 more gases are being made here.
I think that this has to do simply with the fact that, like, basically what Parting is doing here, this is my first take. I haven't seen him do this yet, but the way that Parting likes to play this, because he wants to be able to micro and whatnot, he wants it to come down to unit control and things like that, and not just like the pure macro, like Maru has more units type of thing. So instead of opening with Blink Stalkers, which he uses to whittle things down from Terran and make later SCV pulls less powerful, he's going to open with a Warp Prism, go directly into those Colossus, and base the slowing of Maru down on warp and harassment as opposed to blink harassment, because he's so obviously a blink harassment type player. So I think it's like a really smart way that he's kind of changed his play.
A build very specifically tailored for someone like Maru. Okay, here comes the drop now, and he's going to evacuate the probes. It looks like 2 will be shot down. Oh my God, that was really bad by parting.
This is rough. This is rough. Well,
this is annoying.
Yeah.
Now, he does warp in that 1 stalker, but the Widowmines can still be planted down there. I don't know if Parting's going to try to fly in again here with the Warp Prism. Seems like Maru was already more than prepared for that. We do have the Colossus tech about to finish up here, so they'll be starting soon, and Blink is on the way as well.
Yeah, you know, the fact that he's done nothing whatsoever with that Warp Prism makes me a bit scared for him. That's not a good spot to be in. Okay, there we go, there we go. He's starting. Now, I mean, that is something, right? He kills an SCV, he forces that Mule to lose some mining time, he's forcing the SCVs to lose mining time. This is, you know, not the best harassment that we could hope for Parting.
And then he has a Viking out now. Chase out that Warp Prism. And you can see he's just trying to get as many more SCVs kills as he can. By the way, he did get a decent number of SCV kills back there.
Yeah, you got like 3 or 4 right there.
And I believe, did the Warp Prism get back? Okay.
He's got to turn the probe around. Oh, no, I guess not. Just gets out of there in time.
Okay, but yeah, the Observer comes down there. It was at the upper left spot for the medevac. Parting seems to be a little bit off.
It's his stuff
so
isn't. Yeah, he's not like hitting everything perfectly right now. But neither player is, I guess, really. He does have like a slight probe lead over these SCVs. He's going into double forge, so you know if he makes it up to 2-2 before Maru hits him hard, then that's going to be great. But Is that going to happen? Maru's going up to 5 racks. Will he add a third command, or is he going to go for a quicker attack?
Well, he's still powering up on gates. It looks like he's going to be just banking a lot of army here on 2 base for the time being. We don't see any intention here of partying, trying to take a third just yet. No probe out on the map or anything like that. Oh, notice he did see that with that observer, that army flying, not that one, but the other one, towards the center left there. He saw this army with that observer, so he knows about the presence here on the map of this. I don't know if Maru's planning on actually attacking full-on in with this, or if he's just trying to keep the Protoss on 2 base for a little bit longer. Although, looking at the way Parting's taking this game, I think Parting doesn't even want to be on 3 base for a little bit here.
Yeah, you know, I think that Parting realizes that against Maru specifically, when he's gone for 5 racks before that 3rd command center, that's a lot of units he has at his disposal to harass with. So I think it's really smart for him to go up to those 6 gates, spend his money, get the few extra units, and take the slightly later 3rd here.
He's going to go ahead and back up now. And the 3rd command center is getting close to being done here. Parting does now start up a Nexus over there at the top after Maru had backed off a little bit there. Looks like he might end up having that Nexus picked off here, though.
Yeah, that's
There is
rough.
a drop over here at the top center, and not really anything for the Protoss' army there just yet. There's the Colossi coming down here now.
Is he going to be able to actually force a cancel here? That's the question.
I don't know why he's going for that pylon, actually, but I guess it doesn't matter. The 2 Colossi come over there anyways. Now, there's another army down here that we have a shot of right now.
And, you know, he's trying to hit these multiple locations. This is what Maru's so good at.
Oh, my God!
Oh, Stims runs in, takes out a Colossus already, trying to pick off as many Stalkers as he can, and will end up getting, actually, only like 1 right there. So not effective on the Stalkers, but reducing that Colossus count at all is pretty huge.
Yeah, he so far has not taken out any of these expansions. So far, Maru just going to continue to power up. I would say we're in the phase of the game that Maru is actually better at than Parting. This macro, mass up, run over your opponent phase.
Well, you know, Parting sitting back defending, that's not his strong suit. He's going to come back into some power if he ever gets the opportunity to go and attack. If he has to sit back and just defend nonstop, it's going to be a bit tough. But if he can get on the offensive, I think that things can really start to go his way a bit better.
He could actually start going for the forges right over here.
Oh, man, that is so
Is that the attack or the armor?
That's an attack.
Attack? Okay, nicely done. A force field comes up over here to trap some of this army. A little bit of trading going on back and forth here. And he's got these Stalkers over here in the front, but those Widow Mines are about to reset.
Yeah, he's got to be very careful at that. His Stalkers actually do a good job cleaning that all up, but losing the single forge is actually gigantic.
Yeah.
The fact he could have been up an upgrade, but you know, not really going to happen. Maru's going to be on his 3rd upgrade shortly after Parting is.
It's 147 supply to 127 supply. If you notice what Maru did was he spotted that the Colossi were all up at the top expansion, the 3rd base, and he just bum rushed that 2nd base with just Stalkers there, and that's how he managed to get that forge. If there were Colossi there, he wouldn't have attacked into that. But this is not uncommon for Protoss to have their Zealots and their Colossus in one spot, and then their rest of their army somewhere else. Hold that thought, though. Stalkers especially somewhere else from that note. He's going to warp in some more Zealots over here.
Yeah, this War Prism harassment actually doing a pretty good job right now. Just force a stim back and run back with a lot of these units. In the meantime, Parting going to hold tight over at his natural. We do have a drop looking like it's maybe headed towards the main base in a funny location, but it gets caught. That's a big catch there by Parting.
Yeah, and I don't know if that War Prism is going to be able to get away now. It is taken out too. This is going to even up the supplies. Well, make them a little bit closer, I should say. It's 156 to 150 now. Let's see, another attack in over here. And he's going to go for that forge again. This is huge. Armor is denied.
Yeah, that was the level 3 armor, and it wasn't too far along, so not as painful as that +2 attack was, but what a fantastic pick-off once again here from Maru.
Parting seems more eager to take map control now. And by the way, that +1 range attack for Terran just now finishing up. So twice now, Parting's been shut down on keeping an upgrade lead.
You know, he's eventually going to have to do something here. He can't just sit back on 3 bases forever. Well, you know, if he keeps on whittling off drops like we saw there, that'll be nice, but Maru is absolutely going to be taking a 4th base. He is starting a lot of Viking production, so that doesn't mean an SCV pull can't occur, but by even making this 4th command center, it definitely forces Parting to think, like, am I going to move out and attack now?
Well,
do I take a 4th and continue to try to defend?
Parting on 4 bases, that's going to be very hard for him to hold. With the way Maru is harassing with medevacs, I mean, Maru's really been on top of his medevac harass, minus that one disaster where he lost to 2 medevacs earlier. For the rest of the game, he's been really on top of it. By the way, Maru's already about to max out. And this is what I was talking about. 4 bases here can be pretty tricky. Let's see if he can sneak in here. No, the majority of Parting's army is present in between the 2nd base and the 4th base.
Yeah, and I love that he's taking that 4th, too. That's kind of a new trend in Korean PVT at the moment. You know, a lot easier to defend. It's the one kind of smaller area that Terran has to try to attack into.
A little bit trickier for the Terran to drop the main, but he might, Maru might just send everything over here.
Yeah, it looks like it. And with this little piece of army that he has here, he absolutely cannot hold, but he's being very cost-efficient at the moment.
All right, Stimmy's coming forward now. This is a pretty intimidating army, though, here for Parting. The Colossi are coming down. Vikings, I believe every single Viking's now been shot down, and there's no way this infantry army can hold on against this without those Colossi being pressured back. So Parting going to push forward now. Note the supplies have really gotten much closer together here now.
Yeah.
And there's a chance, actually, that Parting could push down here through the middle of the map and probably go to the bottom part and do a lot of damage. I mean, that's 4 Colossi. I believe 1 is pretty badly bruised. But I don't think there's enough Vikings here to hold all this off. Meanwhile, a Warp Prism comes out, so we can warp into the main while possibly hitting the 3rd base.
You know, this is pretty fantastically done, really on both sides. These guys bringing their A game here today, Tasteless. And in fact, a nice run-in once again here from Maru. Does lose that medevac, so these units aren't going to make it home. But even killing off, you know, 4 High Templars, which is what it looks like it's going to almost amount to. Pretty big.
These Marauders are very brave, Artosis.
Yes.
But Archons are too good. Another gateway explosion here. And
very brave, but those Archons, they're just too good.
That's my play-by-play right now, man. That's all
Bravery doesn't do anything in the face of an Archon.
No, you just die.
Yeah.
We got the 4th base being hit now. Not sure if he can actually get up in there, but this might change that. He's got Zealots warping in over here in the main.
Yeah, he has charge with them now, and he even has Warp Prism speed, so that thing is going to be really annoying for the rest of the game.
Look at this, man. He's going to get the Dark Shrine here, too. So pretty soon we might not just have Zealots being warped, we might have DTs coming in here, too.
Yeah, that's very smart. Ooh, loses that Warp Prism. I'm definitely sure that we're going to see another one pop out, though. He's got to keep those Warp Prisms out, I think. That's a big part of Parting's play right now.
I agree.
But, you know, I really like what both these players are doing, right? Like, Maru's getting to this late game. He's got fantastic upgrades. He's adding the ghosts in. He's getting a better and better unit composition. But in the meantime, Parting, he's kept his Colossus count rather high. He's taken a good 4th base location, put a bunch of cannons up, and has warped in a lot of High Templars while trying to harass. So he's doing everything he needs to do to try to be able to finally or eventually break Maru.
Maxing out is what's about to happen here for Maru, but Parting not far behind at all. He does have the ghosts out here. This is where it could be pretty tricky for a Protoss Death Ball if he gets some of those EMPs off.
That's right.
So he's going to spread out the Templars now.
We have a single High Templar actually just went up the ramp. I wish we could have seen that. Looks like he did get a storm off based on the mini-map. Anyways, going up here, he's going to pick off that sensor tower. I think it's been a bit annoying for him. Loses the mothership core.
He put down both time warps. I guess he was going to lose that no matter what. He's going to send some DTs around here. Now, this could do a lot. He actually gets past the defenses. He could warp in DTs and Zealots over here and then figure out where Maru's army is not defending. I don't know if Maru is actually going to be able to go on the offensive. Here's the Zealots DTs I was talking about. Now, he could spread these DTs all over the place. That's going to be a nightmare for him to try to keep up with. What are these Archons doing on the left here? What's their story?
Just some bad right there. Definitely a mistake, but this is fantastic, as you said, Tasteless. This warping of Zealots and DTs doing quite a bit at the moment.
They're repairing so that they can get Cloak here before that's taken out. Scans
trying to EMP
down
DTs,
here.
but actually missing there.
Yeah, more Zealots being warped in. Not sure if
Parting is just... He's doing so well, Tasteless. The way he keeps poking but never committing with the main force of his army, that keeps most of the army of Maru in place, and he's utilizing the chokes that lead up to the high ground.
Oh, man. Oh, my God.
It's just so well done.
Nice storms there. Now, the only reason why Protoss has to be able to get in there and take that out is that the planetary is so strong. The Viking count also so high. He got rid of the Warp Prism, right? And the bottom right?
No, I think he still has it.
Is that it?
I'm pretty sure he has it. Maybe over
also
somewhere.
we have Stargates.
Oh, there it is.
Two Stargates now being made.
That's right. Yeah, Parting is a Protoss that really does like against someone turtling around planetaries to grab a few Tempests. So
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be the aim of him here. He's actually making double Warp Prism right now, sending DTs in all over the place still. And his harassment has just been fantastic. Look at this.
This might be what costs Maru the game. I mean, this harass is just so good.
Yeah, it's relentless. He's always poking. And the thing is, while this is happening, he keeps walking up this ramp and retreating. And against a retreating Protoss that has spread out high Templars, it's very difficult to punish them. So Parting is like just playing such a fantastic game here.
Man, it's a lot of ghosts over there. We see him Terran now starting to move out, and a storm does hit actually all those ghosts. I don't think that Maru can actually win an engagement if he attacks the center left base.
Yeah. I have to agree with you.
That
He's got to do it, though, right?
Well, if this attack doesn't work for Maru, I think this game is over.
Yeah,
but see what he's got. Some nice EMPs all over that army.
Oh, man. The storms have just already softened up so much here, Tasteless.
As long as Parting the center got blown up.
Ouch. Still 3 Colossus left over. It looks like they probably will be cleaned up by these Vikings
momentarily here.
Yeah.
Parting wins game number 1. Nicely done.
Really, really impressive there by Parting. Maru played a very strong game, but
the opposite of what we thought was going to happen. We were so confident that Maru would beat Parting in a macro game.
Yeah.
That was a solid macro all the way to late game. And Parting was just too good with that harass at the very end there. The Zealots, the DTs being warped in everywhere. Eventually, Maru couldn't defend enough. Maru had no real way of coming back from winning with that one big attack, where you could see Parting was more than prepared. He had cannons there. He had high Templars there.
Yeah.
He kept his Colossi count high.
You know, it's just so smart play here by Parting. I love the early Warp Prism as opposed to Blink. A lot of people are doing Blink right now. Parting trying to stay on the outskirts of the norm by getting such a quick Warp Prism, which really didn't do anything for him. But you know what? It paid off later on. He really focused on it. He got super fast Warp Prism speed. He mixed in that Dark Shrine. You know, I really liked this play by Parting. And the constant poking, that's like exactly how you have to play that map right now in PBT.
And I think a lot of people might look over that, but you're absolutely right, Artosis. The fact that he was coming up the ramp while the Zealots were attacking, so he needed to blanket some storms down and then run back out.
Yeah.
Eventually that army is just going to fall apart.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
You know, that poking, taking that as your fourth base and poking while doing harassment elsewhere, that's like exactly how Zest actually took out Taejon, King Sejong Station this past weekend. So you see this is really like, this is how you're supposed to play this map. It feels like Protoss has finally really figured out what late game PBT looks like here.
Maru is going to be on a quick restroom break, so we'll be going into the game shortly here. I got to say, Parting he's a guy you can never count out.
Of course, yeah.
He's so good.
He's been one of the best Protoss in the world non-stop for like 3 years or something. Like one of the very top non-stop.
When you see the DTs get warped into the main like that, that is so hard for Terran to deal with while the pokes are occurring. You think about it, like 4 DTs in different parts of your main. Not all of them attacking necessarily the most important stuff. I mean, some of them, for instance, attacking a depot or, you know, just bothering an SCV here or there. With the poking coming in, it's hard to tell where you're under attack the entire time.
Yeah.
The game will notify you, but if there's that many attacks going on at once, it's really difficult to clean up.
And splitting your units correctly against that is really tough because if Parting keeps his supply at like, you know, less than max, he can warp in a lot of units suddenly from a Warp Prism. So how many units do you split off? Because if you don't have enough of your army at your 4th base, Parting's poke can kill it.
Yeah.
He can kill a planetary with that if it's only got a small chunk of army.
That's his whole goal, by the way. Now, Maru managed to survive and keep that expansion up anyways, but by then the harass with the Zealots and the DTs, that just did too much damage. Anyways, map number 2 is going to be on Nimbus. That's the map Maru picks. If Maru wins this, map pick will go to Parting. Let's see who's going to be the first player out of these two to go on to the winner's match here.